go. Come on, something. Come on. Ah!
Swing and a miss.
There's a lot of spunk.
Don't throw it wide.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the XBL World Series between Lazy's Black Jackals and Ashnod's Coupons Chicago Blues. I'm Light Snack, aka Flurabelle, aka your play-by-play announcer. With me on color commentary is the Catella Crazy himself and newly appointed league officer, Weaver for Prez. Weaver, what are you thinking after a surprising night of baseball yesterday where the Blues absolutely dominated on all sides of the ball, that Ashnod is just one win away from clinching his first World Series title and dethroning the reigning XBL champion?
I'm thinking Ashnod has got to be itching to get into this game and finish this if he can. The way he's been playing, it's almost like a foregone conclusion. He is dominating on both sides of the ball. Not to say that Lazy hasn't been good. Lazy's been hitting. He's been pitching well. It's just that Ashnod right now looks on like he's on just a completely different plane of existence. It's going to be interesting to see. Can he finish it quickly? Because if he lets Lazy back in this series, watch out. If we know anything about Lazy, it's that he might be the most resilient player in Super Mega Baseball.
When his back's up against the wall, especially this season, Lazy has proven time and time again what he can do. There were numerous times this season where he was in a situation down by a number of runs in the ninth inning and somehow always was able to come back and win it. The one loss he had in the regular season was a 2-inning mercy, almost a fluke that happened. And so whenever his back has been up against the wall in 90% of the games that he's played over these last 2 seasons, he's been able to pull it through. This is a different situation, though. Not just one game. It is a whole series now where his back is up against the wall. He has to win 3 games in a row in order to come home with the World Series trophy.
Yeah, he does, and he's up to the task. It's not like he can't win 3 games in a row. He won, 30 something dating back to last season before that one loss. But like you said, faced with defeat a good handful of times in the season, and only once did he break, and it was an early game. But in late games, he was perfect. Again, the key for him, if he wants to make this comeback, he's got to just find an extra step on the pitching. I know we all know how difficult it is to pitch to Ashnod. He won the long ball for a reason, but he just needs to keep the games a little closer, convert some of the runs that maybe he was leaving in scoring position in previous games. If he just combines those 2 things maybe a little bit better, he can win game 5, snowball into game 6, and then anything can happen in a game 7.
It's very interesting to me that you brought up the pitching as the first thing that Lazy had to do. I mean, in game number, what was it? Game number 4 that was played yesterday, the second game played yesterday, Lazy was able to keep Ashnod scoreless through 4 innings. He was doing a very good job on the mound. It was his bat that has kind of been the issue for him. Only 1 run scored in that game yesterday for the Black Jackals. And like you mentioned, he had those numerous opportunities to score with runners aboard, bases loaded situations, runners in scoring positions, and he simply wasn't able to convert. We're seeing a tense version of Lazy that we honestly haven't really seen before this series.
Yeah, Super Mega Baseball's greatest of all time, if you will. He has not quite looked like his normal self. Maybe the jump to 93 has changed a bit. For him, I'd say he hit very well in the 93 Ego series he played with Mike the Cooch. So maybe it isn't the ego. Maybe Ashnod is just built a little different, at least right now this week. And he's looking to put a cap on this week with a championship.
Ashnod just needs to win 1 game tonight to clinch that World Series title and become the XBL champion for Season 9. Lazy has a long road ahead of him if he wants to come back and hold on to his crown. We'll see what happens in Game 5 of the World Series coming to you all in just a few moments. Stay with us. And we are loading in now to Sakura Hills. Lazy, the home team here, must win 3 games in a row to win the World Series title. 1 at home, 1 away, and then again at home. But Ashnod looking to finish things away. He will bat first. Muddy Waters taking on Daydream Lullaby. The first pitch of the game is a wild heater. Misses inside.
And if there's consolation here for Lazy, it's the rotation resets. I think maybe that helps him a bit more than it does Ash. We'll see.
I mean, if both players are using their number ones, as that one is ripped past the diving glove of Wacky Wanda at third base, that could be extra bases for Ashnod. The play at second will not be in time. It's a leadoff double for the Blues. I was just going to say, Weaver, that if these are the same pitchers both players using for Game 1, that is the one game that Lazy did win in this World Series.
And in this stadium too, it wasn't even close. Honestly, watching that game, it kind of felt like we were due for a repeat of last season. Instead, it's been the opposite.
Yeah, Ashnod able to battle back, winning 3 in a row. As that one is grounded towards Zilla. The runner gets back to second safely, and the throw to first is in time for out number 1.
Still quality base running there from Ash. That was that looked more likely to be caught than not. So going back, definitely the right play.
1-1 here to Elwood Blues, batting .519 in this postseason. The low heat is swung on, belted up the middle. Cox Enormous is going to have to hurry to get that one in. Ashnod thinks about going for home, but stays at third. So runners at the corners here for the cleanup batter, Mavis Staples.
Big potential here to strike early and cast some doubt.
Big swing and a miss there on the high heat. Strike 1. Lazy going with the high curve there. That one is hit. Weak contact to center field. That's going to get down, and that's going to be a RBI single for the Blues. They are on the board, and they strike first.
Great read by Ash. That was fairly close to being caught. Didn't think it would be, but had he caught it, that's a double play. Doubling up at third instead. It's a 1-0 lead.
Not just in this game, but also in this postseason, we've been seeing something that isn't very characteristic of Ashnod. That one is grounded hard at Zilla. Could have been too easy, but a miffed catch. He wasn't able to come up with it cleanly. You can see there 0.3%, I believe, miss opportunity. So just a heartbreaker there for Lazy. The bases are loaded, but that one is grounded. Zilla has another chance here. Throw to second in time to throw onto first. The double play converted that time, but a tense Zilla in a must-win game here for Lazy.
That is massive for Lazy. Yes, despite the Mojo loss, that could have been an absolute disaster if Ashnod was able to capitalize on such a terrible mistake.
Lazy chases the first pitch there, and it's hit softly, hanging up in center field, out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Big Walter Horton. First pitch here to Snappy Pop, catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. That one hanging in the zone is belted into the gap in left field. Extra bases for the Jackals. They have a runner in scoring position here in the first. This will bring up Amy B. Runner on second, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. The Jackals trail by 1. That one in the zone, hammered right into the glove of Staples at second.
That's a tough one there for Lazy, but a big hitter at the plate.
Kim Toe. Ashnod has been able to take care of this big monster batter most times, and it does it again. A diving effort from Staples keeps the ball from getting into the outfield, and Lazy strands a runner in scoring position. First pitch there to Ashnod is hammered towards Zilla, picks it up cleanly, throws it to first in time for out number 1. But Lazy's got to be thinking now, any ball hit to Zilla right now is not a must, is not a guaranteed out, I should say, with that tense mojo.
Yeah, not only with the diminished fielding, but the diminished speed as well might prevent Zilla from getting to some balls in the hole that he otherwise would be able to get to.
2-2 count here to BB King. Whiffer trait is activated. Swung on and missed. Got him with the high heat. Out number 2.
Probably also worth mentioning that the diminished stats of the Mojo down shortstop, they're only going to get worse as the game goes on because they are affected by the pressure bars.
Pressure bars definitely going to come into play there. Zilla not able to get the height there. I think even at neutral Mojo, he wouldn't be able to make that play. So a good swing there from Ashnod. Gets a 2-out single with his pitcher, and that turns the lineup over. Muddy Waters, runner on first and 2 outs. Curveball in there for a strike. The 0-1, just a bit inside. Daydream Lullaby, pitch count already getting up there for Lazy. That one hangs up in the middle, and that's going to be a single for the Blues. First and second here with 2 outs.
Lazy fortunate that wasn't blasted to dead center over the wall. Not a good pitch. He gets away with it in the form of a single. Still has a chance to get out of this.
Another wild fastball. That time was able to get the strike. The 1-1. Sticking with the fastball in the outside corner. Weak contact. Popped up. Shallow center field. Lanky should have the play. Gets under it and makes the catch. So the Blues threaten there but do not score. Still holding on to a 1-0 lead. Kid K is at the plate looking to change things. Swings at the first pitch. That's going to be right at the center fielder Waters, out number 1. And we've seen this a bit, Weaver. You can see the difference in pitch count between these two players. Lazy's really attacking these early pitches. Only 8 pitches thrown from Walter Horton. And already 4 outs and in an 0-2 count. Whereas Daydream Lullaby is in the 20s in their pitch count.
Yeah, Lazy, he's just all about attacking the strikes. If he sees a strike, he'll give it an offer. He's just not finding grass with some of these line drives.
Works the count full here in this at-bat against Horton. The payoff pitch misses just a bit outside, and Lazy is aboard with a walk. Wacky Wanda at first. Larry Lanky in the batter's box. Righty on lefty. First pitch misses just a bit inside. 1 out. Hangs up over the plate. That one hit into center field. First and second with 1 out. Here come the Jackals. Another runner in scoring position. We'll see if Ashnod can shut it down like he has in the past. And here comes the tense Lemonzilla.
And that's, I think, what we're used to seeing from Lazy is the hits straight back up the middle. I think maybe with the 93 Ego, we've been seeing him slap that a bit more to the other side of the field, to the second baseman, whereas normally, like we saw there, he hits it up the middle.
Weak contact there into the glove of James, out number 2. The runners get back safely. This brings up the pitcher, Daydream Lullaby. 2 outs, runners on first and second. First pitch in there for a strike. Big Walter Horton delivers. Off speed, that one is driven foul. The 0-2. Just a bit inside. The 1-2 here to Lullaby. Swung on, weak contact, shallow center field. Should be playable for Muddy Waters. Gets under it, makes the grab for out number 3. So some action on both sides of the ball for both teams, but not resulting in many runs yet. Kim Toe catches this foul ball behind home plate for out number 1. Some quick action going on here.
Yeah. As this should be 2 outs quickly, but I was going to say, if Ashnod does pull this off, if he wins this World Series in 5, I think the story is going to be the resurgent pitching from the Blues that we did not expect, really, plus just maybe a staggering amount of left on base numbers for the Jackals.
Lazy, I would be curious to see how many runners in scoring position Lazy has left aboard in this series. It's got to be somewhere in the upper double digits, because that one is lined through the hole into left field. A base hit for the Blues. Some more 2-out magic for them.
That right there, that's got to be a bit demoralizing. That was a borderline perfect fastball, high. You know, if you know the scouting on Ash, not that there's really much to work on, you know high is probably the best spot. And he just ropes it the other way, and now Normus has to make a play, otherwise it's a second run.
We'll see if Ashnod sends the runner. No, he does not. Holding at second and third are the Blues, but 2 runners in scoring position for Mahalia Jackson. Batting .385 in this postseason. First pitch just a bit high. Ump didn't like it. Fastball outside. Lazy does have a free bag here. Could walk Mahalia to get to BB King with the whiffer trait. And it will be a 4-pitch walk. I'm not sure if Lazy was intending to walk there. Looks like he was just missing his locations ever so slightly. 2 outs and the bases loaded for BB King. A big opportunity here for the Blues to bust this game wide open. And the Jackals need to hold things where they are. The 1-1 to King is swung on up the middle. That's a base hit. That'll score a run. Coxie Normus is going to have to hurry. He does indeed. The bases stay loaded, and a run comes in to score 2-0. The Blues lead. It's just brilliant how he can stay back on a curveball like that and flip it up the middle. But even with the pitcher up, this is just such a dangerous situation. Ashnod somehow is just dialed into Lazy sequencing. It always seems like he has the perfect timing down. So that one is driven foul. Getting all the power that he needs. The 2-1. The fastball is hammered towards the gap. That's going to score another run. The bases will stay loaded. 3-0. The Blues lead.
Lazy's got to find himself an out here in any which way. Maybe get it hit at one of your defenders hard. Doesn't matter. This has the potential to get ugly early.
Daydream Lullaby is tense, and velo is the key against a player like Ashnod at the plate. That one is grounded to Wanda, picks it up and throws it to first, out number 3. So the Blues leave the bases loaded, but they do get 2 runs there in the top of the third. They have a 3-0 lead, and Lazy needs to find a way to score some runs to get back into this one.
Yeah, and he's got to do it soon. Big Walter Horton locked in. Ashnod has a decent bullpen, so you would like to get to it early if you're Lazy, but the way it's going, he's got to figure something else out.
Cox enormous. Takes that pitch inside, brings the count to 2-1. The delivery swung on and missed. Lazy just can't catch up to that heat. The 2-2 swung on, weak contact. Elmore James with a leaping catch at short, out number 1.
And we've talked about the resurgent pitching, as this is going to be 2 outs. We've talked about the resurgent pitching for the Blues. It seemed like last season, not only was the pitching a big problem, it seemed like he couldn't make a defensive play like that to save his life. And all of a sudden, he's executing pretty well on some of these.
Yeah, he's definitely improving his defense and his pitching abilities, and that could be all the difference here in this World Series. As that one is hammered, that could get to the gap. It will. Extra bases for the Jackals. A 2-out double. They're looking to not leave this runner in scoring position. We'll see what the Jackals can do here with Kim Toe at the plate, the big man himself. Ashnod doing a good job of shutting down Kim Toe throughout this World Series. 1-0. Swung on, weak contact, but it will get through into center field. A lot of speed on the bags, and that run is going to come in to score. And the Jackals are on the board. They trail 1-3.
And a great job by Lazy to get the pitcher back to neutral mojo. That's huge.
Big Walter Horton indeed back at neutral mojo. Gets a strike in there. Brings the count to 1-1 against Kid K. That one missing way low. 2-1. Swung on and missed on the outer part of the plate. Run first and 2 outs. The 2-2 swung on. That's going to get through the hole on the first base side. Blues picks it up and fires it back in. So first and second here with 2 outs for Wacky Wanda. Lazy with a chance to possibly take the lead. That's strike on the inside corner. And a good strike there. The high curve clipping that outside corner. And strike 3 called. Ashnod finding those immaculate corners to end the inning.
Yeah, the previous at bat, I thought Lazy actually did a great job of going up and getting that fastball that had fooled him on the previous pitch. Got the single. And then Ashnod just comes back and absolutely finesses him on that last batter.
Those 3 pitches, hard to swing the bat no matter who you are on those pitches. None of those in the immediate zone, right, Weaver?
Right. Yeah. Nothing that's going to light your eyes up. But I mean, you at least got to try and foul it off.
But that wild pitch from Weaver definitely lit Ashnod's eyes up. He smacks it up the middle for a base hit, brings up Elwood Blues. A runner on first. Nobody out, and in the top of the fourth, Daydream Lullaby is not only tense, but 59 pitches thrown. Gives up another single there, first and second with nobody out. Lazy is in big trouble on the pitching department right now.
Yeah, and he does have a good pen, so he could stretch this out. He would love to at least get 3 more outs, but Ashnod making it very difficult.
I mean, we think about his good pen, though. Do you think of Little Lackey and Ashnod just absolutely dominating that reliever throughout these last 2 games? Yeah,
the K-Dud tree just not effective against a hitter like Ash. You can get it to work in some situations.
The 1-2 changeup on the inside corner. KK gets up and makes an unbelievable catch there at first. I thought that was extra bases all the way. Instead, everyone stays at first and second, and an out on the board there for the Jackals.
Likely saved 2 runs. Now he needs a big K here, probably.
The 1-2 here to Elmore James. Going with the high changeup. Swung on, weak contact. It'll land foul. Ashnod doing enough to stay in these at-bats and get some good contact when he needs to. This will leave the bases loaded again for the Blues. 1 out. Runners on first, second, and third for Paul Butterfield. Another do-or-die situation for Lazy, and it looks like this might be the day for Daydream Lullaby. Lazy thinking about it. No, she will be staying in. First pitch in there for a strike.
This could be a huge gamble, leaving her in here with the bases loaded. And they're all dangerous hitters, but this is just a big situation.
Good count here for the 1-2. Weak contact on the changeup, and Ashnod does it again. A weak contact RBI makes it 4-1. I was talking a little bit earlier about this, Weaver. We're not keen on seeing or accustomed to seeing Ashnod with this weak contact, and yet that is what he has been doing time and time again in this series as well as the semifinal series. Even when he can't get a pitch right down the middle to blast into the stands, he is able to put weak contact on the ball and get it where the fielders simply aren't.
Yeah, I think it's just a good combination of power swinging and then just barely missing, and that's what produces those little bloopers. And the train just keeps on trucking here.
It's incredible when you see a hard hit ball like that get down that fast. I mean, Lazy's been hitting those as well, but they stay up for the center fielder.
Yes.
The Blues just getting an RBI single off of that hard hit ball. They lead 5-1, and it seems like it's only a matter of time before we are crowning Ashnod's coupon and the Chicago Blues as the World Series champions. Another hard hit ball right up the middle. That's another single. The base is still loaded. 6-1, the Blues lead. And here comes Big Walter Horton, the pitcher. He has no reason to leave this game, pitching an absolute gem.
Lazy's got to find 2 here, or this thing is just going to be over quick. That could score a run. We'll see. Probably a challenge at the plate.
Pretty deep there. Not a lot of speed on this Blues team, but... Oh, and Lazy with
The center fielder.
Oh, my. I'm not sure. I think he thought he would have the out, and then he could go to first for the...
But he only needed 1 out.
Right,
he only
yeah.
needed the out at home. That was just...
Maybe a fat finger. I don't know.
Grounded ball to first, steps on the bag for out number 3. I'm sorry for the lapse in commentary there. It was a sacrifice fly. Lazy had the out at home, but instead of tagging the runner through to first, seeing the runner rounding the bag, everyone was safe, and the run came in to score for the Blues.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen that in the XBL. That's... I don't know. I don't blame you for being flabbergasted. That was just weird. Look at that strikeout, though.
Yeah, right on the inside corner, strike 3 called. Lazy is just lost on defense at the plate, and Ashnod is capitalizing anywhere all the ways that he can. Absolutely dominant in these last 4 games of the World Series. An absolutely different animal here. He gets into a good count here, 1-2. Swung on, weak contact towards Mahalia Jackson at third. Throws it to first in time for out number 2. Tiger, the tense reliever, comes into bat. Big Walter Horton delivers, pitch number 51. That one is hammered, but it'll land foul down the third base line. The 0-1 here from Horton. Misses inside. The 1-1. Swung on, grounded towards short. Oh, has to leave his feet. Does Elmore James, isn't able to come up with it. That'll be a single. Tiger gets mojo up from that, so no longer a tense reliever there for Lazy. That might be just a bit of a silver lining for him at this point.
I was going to say, that could definitely help when he retakes the mound out there. Yes, he's got to score, but he's got to hold this thing in check, too.
And an amazing catch from Mavis Staples at second. To keep that, I would think that run was going to score. That ball looked destined for the gap in right field. That's going to land fair. That's going to be extra bases for the Blues. A lead-off double. The Blues are smelling that World Series title.
And this game has short game, I think, written all over it. In online leagues, there's a non-toggleable mercy rule where if you're leading by 10 after the bottom half of an inning, you are the winner. And he's only a few runs away. We're only in the 5th, and he just doesn't seem like you can get him out. It doesn't seem to have a weakness.
Gets the 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. Behind the count here against the Blues. That one is hammered to left field. Snappy Pop ranging back. Makes the grab for out number 1. Runner will hold at second. Brings up Mavis Staples. 4-seamer screwball change and a curveball in the arsenal for Tiger. I'm sure Lazy would love to get a scoreless outing here, but it will not happen. That's going to find grass in deep left field. An RBI double, 8-1, the Blues lead.
And this is just a man on a mission. Lazy was always his greatest obstacle. He could never overcome it. He had never beaten him before last game 2 of this series, other than the off-season tournament that was held almost a year ago. But he just looks incredible.
He looks like he was ready for this, unaffected by anything that this season has thrown at him. and is just a few runs or a few innings away from claiming the World Series title. The 2-2 here to Paul Butterfield, a runner on second. The Blues lead by 7. Swung on and missed. Got him chasing the high inside heat. Blues score 1 run there in the top of the 5th. The Jackals with the mountain to climb. We've talked in the past, Weaver, about Lazy's ability to climb out of deep holes when his back has been against the wall. And no situation is like that more than right now, as that one is belted to deep center field. But the deep dimensions of Sakura keep that one in. Caught at the warning track by Muddy Waters for out number 1.
And I think we're talking about just a tiny difference in reticle placement between these two. Everything Ashnod is hitting is getting down or getting over outfielders into gaps. Everything Lazy's hitting is just hanging up a little bit.
1-0 here to Kim Toe is belted to deep right field. Lazy needs this one to hang up and keep going. It's at the wall, and it is off the wall. Weaver, I thought that might have been over the yellow line. Maybe it just died a bit as soon as it got there. So Lazy just inches away from a homer. That one is grounded to Staples and throw to first in time. An RBI ground out. The Jackals now have 2 runs on the board.
Big for Lazy. He really needed to get something going. He could really use this 3rd run, though.
The 0-1 here to Wacky Wanda, swung on and missed way late on the off speed. The 0-2. Hung up. That one is grounded past the glove of Mavis Staples. The run comes in to score a weak contact RBI single. Now 3 runs on the board for the Jackals. They still trail by 5.
I definitely expected to see another fantastic play out of Staples instead. She doesn't leave her feet, and that allows a run.
That one into the glove of the leaping James. Another leaping infield catch for the Blues. What is that now, Weaver? Is that a 3 in this game alone? Wacky Wanda can't come up with it.
It's something else, isn't it? He and his players, they just look poised.
Can't do any wrong, it seems, the Blues. I said it last night, and it seems to be coming true here. Is it written in the stars for the Blues? 2-1 here to BB King. Runner on first and nobody out. Swung on and fouled. Whiffer trade activates for BB King. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3.
Tiger actually reasonably effective since coming out of the pen. Deficit is 5. That is something, but it's not everything to a player like Lazy. He just needs to keep pitching well like this. Maybe he can find 2 here out of the pinch hitter.
Yeah, surprising that Tiger's been able to be as effective as he can, even with the stats starting to diminish for this reliever. Ashnod taking his time. Big Walter Horton's day might be done here, and it is after 5 innings pitched. A good outing there, holding Lazy to 3 runs. Magic Sam comes in to pinch hit. It'll be up to the Blues bullpen to take this one home. That one lifted foul.
5 innings, 3 runs against Lazy. You sign up for that every day of the week. Nice pitch there from Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger just absolutely freezing Ashnod with that low outside changeup, taken all the way for strike 3. Turns the lineup over, however, so runner on first with 2 outs for Muddy Waters. The 1-1 is swung on, weak contact. That could find the hole. Lanky with a good diving effort. The throw to first in time for out number 3. What a play.
Yeah, Lazy can do it too. Before we knew, I guess, that Ashnod has improved his defensive game, we always knew Lazy could do it. Nice play there. And he's got some tough bats here, but Lemonzilla making a bid.
Yeah, tense at the plate, but driven to the gap in left field. A leadoff double for the Jackals, and this could be a rally starter for Lazy. Tiger's day might be done here. Lefty on lefty, Willie Dixon, the lefty specialist. Lazy just taking a look here at the his opponent's roster. It's going to be very interesting to see if Lazy can flip that switch, because he's been in this situation before where he can possibly start a rally and just isn't able to get it done. Tiger does come out of the game. Ham Choi pinch hitting.
Ball high.
Evens up the count here, 1-1. Pitch from Dixon, swung on and fouled into the dugout of the Blues. Four-seamer curveball change off the arm of Dixon. That one weak contact lifted over the first baseman. That's going to find grass in right field. Blues hurriedly gets that one into the infield, so the runners will hold at the corners. For Cox Enormous, the lineup turning over here for the Jackals. A big opportunity for Lazy to get back in this one.
I thought maybe Lazy had a decent chance to score there with Zilla, but obviously he doesn't need one. He needs 5.
Trying to keep this inning going without any outs as long as possible, but that one is grounded right at Staples. Throw to second in time, on to first. The double play, a late jump from third, barely gets home safe. Just inches away from a triple play there. That would have been a dagger for Lazy. Instead, it does clear the bases with the double play, but a run comes in to score. Now the Jackals trail by 4. That one hammered foul down the third base line. The 0-2 here to Snappy Pop. Outside. 1-2 from Dixon. Swing and a miss. Lazy way late on that changeup. Weaver, what do you think on that?
One thing I am noticing is that with this 93 ego change, obviously Ashnod looks unfazed. He's still mashing the ball, and he's power swinging on every pitch, whereas Lazy is going with the 2-strike contact swing. He clearly doesn't have enough confidence in the power swing on 2 strikes. And in certain situations, I think it's hurt him a little bit, like on that double play ball.
So with I-Tiger out of the game, in comes Little Lackey, and oh my goodness, a weak contact single just past the outstretched glove of the first baseman. And this is the pitcher that Ashnod has lit up in these last few games here in the World Series.
That one's got to hurt. If you're Lazy, you're probably thinking, well, why couldn't my first baseman get to that one? I'm sure Butterfield would have. Instead,
More weak contact for the Blues, just eking out of the infield right where he needs it. So first and second with nobody out here for the Blues. And again, like if you're Lazy, this has got to be killing you. Ashnod lives and dies by the long ball, and yet here he is getting aboard with these expertly placed little bloopers.
He's not doing anything terribly wrong. If you're playing Ash, you got to get weak contact. That's a great play by Lazy.
Lazy, instead of doing the instinctive second to first, steps on the bag at third and throws it across the diamond just in time to get the outs at third and first for the double play. This one right down the middle is belted into right field. B plays it on the hop, throws it home. Runner will hold at third. So runners now at the corners here with 2 outs for the Blues. Righty specialist activates for Lackey.
I'm a bit surprised Lazy didn't offer the dive. I think he had it.
Possibly just wanting to trust in his pitching there, and he does it. Little Lackey lets some runners aboard, but is able to get out of the inning unscathed. Maybe a confidence boost here for Lazy and the Jackals. Needs to keep getting some runs on the board if he wants to extend his postseason life here. Gets into a good count here with Amy B. The 2-0 is hammered into the gap in right field. A diving effort from the center fielder. Waters is able to knock it down. Unable to come up with it, though. A leadoff double for the Jackals, but still a great play there by the center fielder.
If you're Lazy, you got to be thinking, okay, there's my break. Time, get back in this thing. I almost can't believe he swung at that.
Kim Toe just a little over-eager there. Way inside with that pitch, swung on it with the mistimed charge. That one, first pitch again. Is it fair? Yes, it is. That's going to be an RBI double. The Jackals striking here with 1 out. Now it's 8-5, the Blues lead.
And this is good for Lazy. Well, that's obvious, but it's going to start sowing some doubt, I would think, in Ashnod's head. He knows he's just 9 or 8 outs away from a championship, but all of a sudden, Lazy looks like he's waking up a little bit.
Gets into a 1-1 count here with Wacky Wanda. Swings at that one towards the hole. A diving effort from Elmore. James gets the catch for the out. Runner gets back to second safely. More infield gems by the Blues. Brings up Larry Lanky, facing off against Dixon. Righty versus lefty. That pitch right in there for a strike. Lazy not offering. The 1-1. Swings at the low changeup, drives it foul. The 1-2. Protecting the plate there. Another foul ball. Pitch count getting up there for Dixon. The 1-2 swung on, hammered, but right into the glove of Staples at second. So another run comes in to score for the Jackals. Still, they trail by 3, and only 2 innings left in regulation.
And it's not a bad pace. The way he's going, he could have a great chance at the tail end of this game. The trick, though, is to keep the game scoreless for the next couple innings against someone that has been lighting you up. He's had a good last couple innings. He's got to continue it.
Needs to find a way to continue to contain this Blues offense. That one hammered, but right into the glove of Lanky at second for out number 1. This brings up BB King, righty on righty. It's the bottom of the order here for Ashnod, but doesn't care with BB King at the plate. Smacks the first pitch up the middle for a base hit. 1 out, a runner on first for the pitcher, Willie Dixon. This could be his day as Ashnod looks at the bench.
That's going to remove the Blues specialist more than likely. Yep, there it is.
And you got to imagine in the next inning, the Blues are going to bring in that high velo closer who has just absolutely dominated Lazy in the late game.
Could be. He does need 6 outs. And the closer with the diminished stamina, not going to be able to get probably all that. There's another hit.
Another weak contact blooper for the Blues. First and second here, the lineup turns over. In comes Muddy Waters. Big opportunity here for the Blues to really break this thing open. First and second, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Blues lead it. That one hammered to deep right field. B getting back at the track, catches it for out number 2. Ashnod trying to tag up here. The throw in time. The double play.
Maybe a big momentum shift. That is a big mistake from Ashnod. I'm not sure why. I mean, he can hit the ball as hard as anyone. He knows the weakness of his team is the speed. So he challenged and he paid.
And in does come the closer, Willie Big Eyes Smith. Look at that velo, as high velo as you can possibly get on a closer here in the XBL. The 1-1, just a bit outside. He knows that the velo has been something that Lazy's been struggling with at this 93 ego. That one catches the outside corner for a strike. The 2-2 to the 10th. Zilla swung on, lifted to shallow center field. Waters makes the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, not just velo, but painted velo. One of those pitches, I forget which count it was, but it was just, or a couple of them were just perfect.
C. Jones comes in to bat. Little Lackey is done. That one right down the middle, but Lazy unable to catch up with the heat. Strike 1. Down the middle again, unable to catch up with it. Strike 2. Catches up with that one. The diving effort from the third baseman isn't able to come up with it. That'll be a 1-out single for the pinch hitter. The lineup turns over here for Lazy. Coxie Normus up to bat. Lazy possibly thinking about a pinch runner here. Not a lot of speed from Juicy Jones.
Great adjustment from Lazy on an at-bat where Ash definitely had a lapse in accuracy.
Tim Tamabalanza comes in to pinch run here. 1 out, a runner on first for Normus. First pitch, the high breaking ball clips the top of the zone for a strike. That one in the zone, or jumping effort there from Staples, isn't able to come up with it. Bounces off her glove. Everyone's going to be safe. First and second with 1 out here for Snappy Pop. A big opportunity here for Lazy and the Jackals. Ashnod needs to shut it down. The low changeup swung on and missed.
This is the tying run here.
Yo 1. Swung on and foul. That one just barely in the zone there, down. The 0-2. Swung on, weak contact. That'll get through the hole into right field. Not enough speed there to score. The bases are loaded with 1 out here for the Jackals. Amy B, the go-ahead run is at the plate. First pitch clips that high and inside corner for a strike. The 0-1. Just a bit low. 1-1. Bit outside. Lazy getting a little bit patient here. The 2-1. Swung on, belted to deep left field. Is this baby gone? A grand slam for the Jackals. They take the lead.
This is why he's the best that we've ever seen. He can't quit. It's not in his system. Now he leads by 1. He has a chance to force a game 6. This is Super Mega Baseball heroics.
Willie Big Eye Smith gets 1 out, but gives up the lead. In comes Albertina Walker to face off against Kim To. The Jackals mounting what could end up being one of the biggest comebacks in XBL postseason history. Now has a 9-8 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Kim To hammers the 1-2 up the middle. That's a 1-out base hit.
Yeah, certainly could be one of the bigger that we've seen, at least in the XBL, in this broadcasting era, if you will, the last couple of seasons that we've done this. The only thing that comes to mind is the AAA comeback from Corruptions that we saw a couple weeks ago, but that is a different league.
They're a weak contact base hit into right field. Lazy getting a bit of that bloop action going on. First and second here with 1 out. is Wacky Wanda. Facing off against Albertina Walker. That one grounded. Past the glove of the first baseman. Everyone's going to be safe. It's a slow trickler. Rounding the bags are the runners. They'll hold at the corners, but another run comes in to score for the Jackals. 10-8 they lead.
Just a crucial run there. One run against Ash with 3 outs to go. That's a situation I would never want to be in. But now he's got the 2 runs. He's looking to put on more for sure.
Larry Lanky. Albertina Walker now tense. But gets into account here 0-2. K-Man activates for the reliever. The delivery. In there for a strike. Strike 3 called on the inside corner with the changeup.
That's a perfect pitch. There's nothing else to say about it. It was perfect.
Nothing you can do against that pitch when you see it coming. Albertina Walker with that looking K. A bit of a mojo boost when it's a looking strikeout. That one could have been up the middle, but Albertina Walker able to get a glove on it. Knocks it down. The throw to first in time to end the inning. So Ashnod finally able to stem the bleeding there. But the Jackals take the lead 10-8. Top of the 9th, the Jackals need 3 outs to keep this World Series going. Pack-a-Punch in for relief. And Jake Blues belts that one to deep left field. Gone! The Blues trail by 1.
Is that Ashnod's first home run of this game? I think it is. And it could not have come at a better time. It's a 1-run game, still 3 outs to go. Lazy fell behind the last batter. Now he's falling behind this one.
Tense is Pack-a-Punch. It only took 1 solo shot to bring those stats down for this reliever in a do-or-die situation for the Jackals. The 1-2 misses just a bit outside. The Blues trail just by 1. Swung on hard right towards Lanky, picks it up, throws it to first for out number 1. Weaver, we've seen some big scoring in these games, but this is the closest game in this World Series by far.
And you can tell because I'm sure, like many of you, my heart is pounding right now. This is XBL action at its peak.
A man activates for Pack-a-Punch. The 1-2, taken all the way by Ash, just a bit inside. The 2-2, trying to find that corner, swung on and missed 103 miles per hour. 2 outs, nobody on. Swung on first pitch to Kid K, picks it up, steps on the bag, out number 3. The Jackals live to fight another game.
Incredible comeback. Look at the line scored from the 5th inning on. 2-1-1-5. All those runs coming in the second half of the game. Back to the wall. Season on the line. Lazy says, nope, I want to play at least one more in Lafayette corner. I cannot wait to see what happens here.
What a game, Weaver. What a absolute game. This was the one that showcased, I think, what we were talking about most. Ashnod's improved pitching ability. Ashnod's improved defensive ability. The power of his bat. But then at the end of the day, what Lazy has done time and time again with his back against the wall, reaches down deep and pulls out a miracle, extending his life in this postseason, in this World Series. The Jackals now have 2 wins, the Blues with 3. Blues still need 1 more win to take home the title, and they're going home to Lafayette Corner.
But the psychological advantage has got to be with Lazy after such an incredible comeback, incredible win, a clutch win. Like you said, it's what he's known for. And sorry, go for it.
In the 5th inning, he was down 8-1. 8-1, and he comes back to win it 10-9. Just being able to hold Ashnod to the 1 run through those last 4 innings. His bullpen doing what we just simply didn't see it do in these previous games.
Yeah, you and I were talking, the things we were saying were kind of indicating that we felt like it was over, like Ashnod was him winning was a foregone conclusion the way that game was going. The Blues locker room getting dressed for the champagne party. Instead, Lazy pulls the rabbit out of the hat. And here we go in game number 6.
Yo 1 is belted to deep center field. Muddy Waters making the grab just in front of the warning track. Out number 1. Ashnod taking just a bit of a moment here. Howlin' Wolf, the starter for the Blues here. So Lazy able to get wins in game 1 and 5 with those similar pitching matchups in the similar stadium. But Lazy has not won a game in the World Series yet here in Ashnod's home of Lafayette Corner. He's going to have to figure out what he needs to do in order to change that.
Yeah, and it would seem that Lazy, if he figured anything out, you can tell because of the way he hit that final reliever. You were telling me that had been the reliever he'd struggled the most with, and that's the reliever he hit the grand slam off of.
And you can see right now as that one is grounded hard, but right at the first baseman for out number 2. Ashnod's pitching might just not be where it was at earlier today. He's not getting those corners, and we've seen already just a few pitches just hanging in the middle of the zone. Gets behind in the count here, 3-0 to Amy B. Oh, that one just in the strike zone for the first strike of this at-bat. 2 outs, nobody on, the 3-1. Swung on and missed. Lazy can't catch up with the heat there. The payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. In the zone, Lazy simply couldn't pull the trigger on the off-speed.
Seems to be liking that 2-strike inside changeup. He's gotten Lazy looking a few times now. It's a nice pitch for him, and here we go.
Yeah, Ashnod's liking it, but Lazy sure isn't. I'm looking at that and seeing that it is a strike, as that one is just belted to deep right field, and that baby is gone. Ashnod striking first here in the bottom of the first inning. Muddy Waters going yard.
That's a bomb from Waters. Ashnod probably playing with a little anger after surrendering Game 5, and he's ripping the ball now. He does not want to go to Game 7, and why would you?
And this is his home field. This is where he's the most comfortable. Maybe something of the illusion with seeing how close those outfield walls are compared to Sakura Hills gives him that extra oomph to really try and drive the ball deep. That curved ball is belted to deep center. Cox Enormous ranges back, makes the grab for out number 2. Avis Staples stepping in. 2 outs, nobody on. The Blues lead here 1-0 off of the solo shot from Muddy Waters. The 2-0 from Fast Bow. Swung on and missed by Mavis Staples there on the outside corner. A wild pitch incoming. Misses wildly. The 3-1 here to Staples. That will be a 2-out walk for Staples. A runner aboard for the Blues here. Elmore James stepping in.
I'm not sure Lazy walked anyone through the entirety of game number 5, but they're not a good at bat on the pitching side. He has a chance to finish it quick, though. Yeah. That
one misses wild right down the middle, but Ashnod unable to catch up with it. Strike 3. The Blues leave a runner on first, but a solo shot gives them an early 1-0 lead. That one driven foul by Kim Toe, who's looking to even the score. The 0-1, just a bit outside from Howlin' Wolf. 1-1, just a bit low. Didn't miss by much. The 2-1. Swung on and missed. Lazy not prepared for that inside heat. The 2-2. Swung on, protecting the plate. Driven to deep left field. Caught right in front of the Pete Boggs Gator Mall wall for out number 1.
Yeah, not a bad idea trying to pull something with how short it is out there. Left field and left center. Left field and left center, definitely big power alleys.
Howlin' Wolf, however, locked in after that one. 55 power hit towards the gap, a little bit more power, and that one could have been gone. Instead, it will be a 1-out double for Lazy, just able to get in there on the slide. Brings up Wacky Wanda, swings at the first pitch, drives it deep, but foul. 1 out, a runner on second for Wacky Wanda. Swings at that one. If it gets down, it's scoring a run. The diving effort from Ashnod, unable to come up with it. That run does come in to score. Lazy thinks about second, goes back to first. An RBI single for the Jackals, and this game is tied up.
Lazy took a pretty big gamble there. He full sent that runner around third, gambling that it would not be caught. Paid off for him in a big way.
That one, if it's fair, could be trouble, and it is right on the line at first base. The first base line, I should say. Second and third with 1 out. A good piece of hitting there from Lazy. Brings up Lemonzilla. Swings at the first pitch. Deep left field. Going at the wall. The leaping effort. Unable to come up with it. It's off the wall. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. The Jackals lead it 3-1 here in the second.
The Jackals rallying here. They don't look like they've missed a beat since 15 minutes ago when the rallies were really kicking off. Even the pitcher looking to get in on it.
Pitcher drives it deep right field. It's going at the wall. Caught by Blues at the warning track. The runner tags up from second to third. Ashnod just holding onto the ball there in right field. Not entirely sure what happened there.
Yeah, Lazy kind of got back to the bag late. It may have been close at third had Ashnod fired right away. Maybe just didn't expect it.
Or maybe losing track of the outs, because I got to be honest, I'm right there with him if that's the case.
Yeah, could be.
When these long innings keep on going. So 2 outs here, a runner on third. The 3-1 count here to Cox Enormous. Tense is Howlin' Wolf. That one down the middle, belted to deep center field, but Lazy getting just a bit under it. It'll die in front of the warning track. Caught by Muddy Waters for out number 3, but the Jackals strike back. They have a 3-1 lead. And up comes Paul Butterfield for the Blues.
Big inning there for Lazy. He obviously does not want to play from behind again. That cannot be good for the heart. But now he doesn't have to. He's ahead.
Swung on and missed on that pitch in the zone. The 1-2. Just a bit outside. Paul Butterfield looks at the 2-2. Swings at the curveball weakly. Lanky with the dive, comes up with it, throws it to first. Out number 1. Just not enough speed out of the batter's box for Butterfield to reach safely.
And that's an example of Lazy just being someone who can do a lot of the little things in addition to being so incredible at the plate. That he took a bit of an unorthodox angle on the dive. He wasn't exactly parallel to the screen per se. He kind of took an upward angle to make that play.
Weak contact there, but ends up being right in front of the warning track in left field for out number 2. This will bring up BB King. And yeah, Lazy just has a very good mind, usually when it comes to defenses. The first pitch is chased after there. Center field, Cox Enormous makes the catch for out number 3. We head to the top of the third. A scoreless inning from the Blues. Howlin' Wolf back up to neutral mojo. First pitch swung on and missed by Snappy Pop. The 0-1. Fastball in there for a strike. Gets into a good count here, 0-2. The delivery. Swung on late, weakly hit towards Staples. Picks it up, throws it to first for out number 1.
Some soft outs here. I was going to say that last inning on defense for the Jackals, probably one of the easiest in the whole series for them.
Lazy chasing the first pitch there. Soft ground out to third. So 2 outs quickly here in the top of the third. Nobody on. A very different, entirely different picture between the top of the second and the top of the third here for Lazy as he drives that one deep right field, and it is gone. 4-1. The Jackals lead off the bat of Kim Toe.
Yep, I was going to say, there's Kim Toe, the most powerful hitter in the Jackals lineup. He's got the most power stat, and it's a trade-off because he can't run. Oh, that's back-to-back.
Back-to-back, go the Jackals. That baby is gone in the double-decker. Kid K. Mojo up off that long ball, 5-1, the Jackals lead. Starting to figure out how to pull that ball to that short wall.
And right when that was smacked, you can see Ashnod going with the quick chat. This hurts. You wonder if maybe the psychological game is getting to him a little bit. He had the 3-1 lead. It's 3-2, and now Lazy in command early. But if you're Ashnod, you should trust yourself to be able to get back at this thing.
That one hit hard, but right into the glove of Mavis Staples, out number 3. But the Jackals go back-to-back, a couple of solo shots, extend their lead to 5-1 here in the bottom of the third. And that the first 2 outs came really quickly. It looked like it was going to be a quick 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah,
and Lazy just hopped on some mistake pitches and was able to drive him deep.
Yeah, both of these players, it doesn't matter how many outs, doesn't matter the count. You can't let up for even a second.
That low inside changeup was struck into center field. That's a base hit. So the Blues trying to retaliate. A leadoff single. Brings up the Muddy Waters. So that was off the bat of the tense pitcher.
Yeah.
Able to get that single.
Still tense, though.
Still tense after that single. I mean, I would be too if I'd just given up back-to-back home runs.
Yep.
The 1-2 here to Muddy Waters. The high curveball is swung on towards the gap in left field. That'll get down. A base hit there. Cox Enormous plays it off the wall. Second and third here for the Blues with nobody out. They're looking to get back in this one.
Yeah, one swing could make it a 1-run game. And here in Lafayette Corner, and these hitters, can certainly happen. That's going to be 1, maybe 2.
Another one belted up the middle. Runner will hold at third, but a run does come in to score. So runners at the corners. The Blues tack on another. They trail 5-2. Fastball in the corner, swung on and missed. The tying run at the plate. Elwood Blues takes that curveball on the outside corner for a strike. The 0-2 misses wildly. Going with the high change is Lazy. The 1-2 not offered at. The 2-2, high heat. Swung on, dribbled weakly to Kid K. Might have two. The throw to second in time. On to first. The double play. But a run comes in for the Blues. 5-3. The Jackals' lead is diminishing. That one lifted. Not a lot of foul territory here in Lafayette. Snappy Pop unable to catch it. Might have had a play if he came in faster. Snappy Pop's going to have another chance here, but that one's going to drop in fair territory, and he botches the dive. A 2-out single for the Blues. Tough outing there for Snappy Pop.
Yeah, so the mistake in foul territory gives Ashnod a new lease on life in the third inning. And I just want to quickly compliment Lazy for taking 2 outs on that double play ball instead of trying to cut the runner out at the plate. Anytime you can keep Ashnod from just giving up the 1 run, getting 2 outs, I think you take it.
Good way there to get himself into a 2-out count in this inning, but that one's ripped up the middle. Another base hit for the Blues. The tying run is at first now for Ashnod, and the go-ahead run is at the plate in the form of Paul Butterfield. Lefty on righty matchup. The first pitch swung on and missed on the outside corner. A good fastball there from Lazy. The 0-1 high heat swung on the ground towards Lenke, picks it up, throws it to first for out number 3. The Blues threatening there, get 2 runs, but still trail by 2.
Yeah, great inning from Ash. The way Lazy looks like he's woken up a bit, as that's first pitch out, big for Ash. But he's looking like he's woken up a bit, and to prevent your opponent, in this case Lazy, from running away with it, you got to have good response innings like that, and he did.
And Ashnod getting Lazy to chase after these first 2 pitches. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th. Fastbow, the pitcher, up to bat, staying in the game. That one is belted deep right field. Can the pitcher go yard? She can! Gone! The Jackals get a run back off of the bat of Fastbow.
Yeah, and why not? First 2 pitches of the inning, easy outs to the Blue defenders. And then on the third batter, the pitcher just blasted into the power alley right center field, 6-3.
And that's what happened in the previous inning when Lazy went back-to-back. 2 quick outs and then just smashing one into the stands.
So are you calling a home run here?
We'll have to wait and see. We have to wait and see here, Weaver.
It's a good count.
The 3-1 down the middle home run. No, just inside, and that will be a walk. For Coxie Normus brings up Snappy Pop, who had a tough inning there in left field. Swings at the first pitch, and this is going to be more difficulties for Snappy Pop. An easy play there by the catcher, BB King. Out number 3. 6-3, the Jackals lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Mahalia Jackson at the plate for the Blues.
And it kind of seemed like the pitcher for the Blues, I believe Helen Wolf, was headed back towards that neutral mojo after getting the single, a couple quick outs. Lazy does a good job keeping that from happening, and wow, big defensive mistake from Lenke.
Yeah, Lazy playing that one very similar to how he was able to make that great play earlier in the game with Lenke, but Lenke just unable to come up with the ball, and a good, well-timed dive there. And it will be an infield single for the Blues. But BB King gets behind in the count here, 0-2. Whiffer trait activates. The heat just a bit outside there from Lazy. Goes high with it. Swung on and missed from BB King, out number 1.
That's a great pitch. He just missed the K on the previous pitch. Does a good job wasting no time finding it.
Howlin' Wolf staying in the game despite the tense mojo. Gets into a hole here, 0-2. Runner on first and 1 out for the Blues. They trail by 3. The 0-2 is swung on, lifted weakly to right field. B gets under it, makes the catch for out number 2. Lineup turns over here, though. Muddy Waters with a home run in this game already. The first pitch misses just a bit high. Goes with the curveball on the outside part of the plate. Finds the strike zone. The 1-1 high changeup in the zone. Swung on and drilled foul. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and that'll end the inning.
Big shutdown inning for Lazy, as he wants to keep trucking along here. He's still got Howlin' Wolf tense.
Top of the 5th, Lazy reaching for that one almost off the plate and dribbles it past everybody in the infield. Up the middle. Weak contact gets Lazy aboard here with a leadoff single. And this brings up the deadly Kim Toe. A lot of speed on the bag at first. Nobody out. Top of the 5th, the Jackals lead by 3. A good pitch there from Ashnod, clipping that high inside corner. The runner takes off on the off speed. The throw to second, not in time. A close play there, but a stolen base for the Jackals. Takes that high pitch. Runner on second here, nobody out. The 2-2 to Kim Toe. The delivery. Misses way low. Payoff pitch to Kim To. Wolf delivers. That one in the zone. Contact swung on and drilled up the middle. Runners at the corners with nobody out for the Jackals. Lazy in command right now.
I was literally just about to comment on how I was a bit surprised Lazy hadn't tried anything as far as stolen bases go. He gets the successful one there despite Ashnod. He was paying attention to him. He had held the previous pitch looking for that runner to go. Instead, huge situation for the Jackals.
Howlin' Wolf is tense. Kid K is locked in. That one down the middle. Hit hard, but right at the sliding center fielder, Waters isn't able to come up with the ball. An RBI single for the Jackals, first and second. Nobody out here for Wacky Wanda.
My split-second instinct is that he didn't need to slide for it. I think he had it. I think he was able to catch it. Instead, he does, and I guess there's no reward for it. It bounces off of his chin, scores a run, and Lazy just keeps on rolling.
Howlin' Wolf is done for the day. Willie Dixon, the lefty specialist, comes in, but that one driven to deep center field. It is gone. Another home run for the Jackals. They lead it 10-3.
Wow, Lazy looking to bury this thing, but we said that in Game 5 about Ashnod, so we'll see. Let's not count our chickens like maybe we were last game. But wow, what a job from Lazy to just totally wake up in this series.
Those chickens most certainly have not hatched yet, Weaver. The Blues do trail by 7, but we know what Ashnod's offense can do. And we saw the Jackals do something there. That is a well-placed fastball in the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Willie Dixon still tense.
Yeah, there's the painted pitch that hasn't been as prevalent tonight as it was in the previous nights. He's got to do more of that if he wants to hold this here and make the comeback.
Lemonzilla lays off that pitch out of the zone, brings the count to 1-1. That one just a bit inside. The 2-1 here to Zilla. Swung on, weak contact, driven to deep left field. In front of the warning track is Blues. He makes the grab for out number 2.
Big slugger.
Fast Bo, locked in with a home run on the day. Gets behind in the count here, 0-2. Some good pitches there from Dixon. The delivery. Catches the outside corner. Bo taking all the way. Strike 3 called. Couldn't do anything with that changeup. But the Jackals with some more runs on the board. They lead 10-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll see if Ashnod can do anything to get back at this one. That one is ripped. Oh! Lanky with a leaping effort catching that ball. That was a dart off the bat of the Blues hitter.
Yeah, and Lazy's saying, how do you like that? that kept happening to him in game number 5 at the hands of Ashnod. Turns the tables a little bit.
Aspo still locked in on the mound. The 2-2 swung on, belted to deep right field. Be back at the wall, makes the grab right in front of the short wall. Ashnod once again saying, this hurts. Swings at the first pitch there, hard hit right into the glove of Zilla. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. And the Jackals back up to bat, rips that one up the middle for a base hit.
Only 48 power on that, but the reticle placement, it's clear to me that he has kind of solved some of those issues here in the last, I will say, 9 innings or so.
Lazy is adjusting here. A lot of speed on the bag at first. Snappy pop. The 2-0. Driven to deep right field. A line drive. Over the wall. It's gone. A 2-run shot. 12-3. The Jackals lead.
And that puts him 1 run away from the magic number 10. He can't walk it off in mercy fashion, but he can start applying some of that pressure. That's how he dispatched of Ashnod in game 1 of this series and in the first 3 games of last season's series. So we'll see.
Lazy trying to get his first win in this World Series at Lafayette Corner to tie up this World Series at 3 games apiece and send us to a winner-take-all Game 7. That one is grounded weakly to second. The throw in time at first for out number 1. Brings up Kim To, ever deadly. Misses inside. Willie Dixon tense on the mound. Lefty versus righty. That one in there for a strike. Good, right on the corner. 1-1. Misses that corner this time with the off speed. The 2-1. Hangs up in the zone. Deep left field. Kim To! Gone! 13-3. The Jackals lead.
There it is. There's the 10-run lead. Now they stand 3 outs away. and he's still hitting, by the way. 3 outs away from forcing Game 7 tomorrow night.
Can he do it, Weaver? I don't believe what we're seeing. Kid K locked in. Swings at that one, drills it, but foul down the third base line. The 1-2 here from Dixon. The delivery. In the zone, is swung on, deep center field. Should be playable for Waters. Gets under it and makes the grab for out number 2. This is an entirely different Lazy than we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I almost want to say it's a different Lazy than we saw in Game 1, where he did mercy. This looks like the most complete version of him that we've seen. Not only scoring 13 runs, but holding the unstoppable Ashnod to just the 3.
Weak contact there on the high pitch. Lifted to Waters, more action for the center fielder. Catches it for out number 3. The Blues need to score a run here in the bottom of the 6th to keep this game going and keep the Blues' dreams of taking the World Series championship at home alive.
And Lazy, thinking about his pen here, I can't help but wonder if that's overthinking.
Fastball locked in has been the key to success so far. 5-pitch arsenal, 69 pitches thrown. Stats starting to diminish a bit, but has really been able to hold the Blues to just these 3 runs. And he will stick with fastball for the time being. Maybe a short leash here. The 1-0, swung on towards Zilla. Picks it up, throws it to first. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th.
I do remember in game number 4 of last year's World Series, Lazy did something similar. He did put in his relief pitcher to try and finalize an early mercy, and it backfired. Ashnod got back in the game. He ended up winning, obviously, but he's sticking with his pitcher here, although maybe after that double, we could see the pen.
And that one was driven into the gap, and Cox Enormous, I would say, probably had a play at second if he played it cleanly off the wall, but it got by him, rolled around for a little bit. Ashnod was able to get into second easy. The sliding effort from B isn't able to come up with it, but a late jump from Ashnod, probably thinking that a catch was likely there. Held the runner, so runners at the corners here now for BB King. The mercy avoiding run is at third, and that should be the day for Fast Bo. Lazy will go to pack a punch. The K-Man reliever. First pitch is swung on, driven to deep right field. Will it be deep enough to score that run on the sac fly? A 99 power throw from B. The runner takes off from third. The plate is not in time. The Blues stay alive. 4-13, they trail.
Great job from Ashnod producing that run to keep the game going. He knows he's a good enough hitter. As long as he has time, he has a path to victory. He just has to kind of clean up at the plate a little bit. Is that another hit?
Diving effort from Zilla, the throw to first, just in time. A lot of speed out of the box for Ash there, considering his team, but wasn't able to beat out the great throw there from Zilla.
So we play on. Here we go.
The Jackals lead now at 9 runs. Larry Lanky, 7-8-9 batters due up here for the Jackals. Ashnod would love a shutout inning here to keep his momentum going in an effort to make a Herculean comeback and win the World Series at home. The 2-1 in there for a strike. K-Man activates for Walker, who's in the game now. The 2-2 misses just a bit inside. Good patience there from Lazy. The payoff pitch to Larry Lanky. Albertina Walker delivers. Swung on, weak contact into the glove of James at shortstop for out number 1.
Yeah, and Ashnod down 9, and to many people watching, that probably seems insurmountable, but if I'm not mistaken, Ashnod scored 9 in 1 inning just last night.
Yes, he did.
Anything can happen.
First pitch swinging, driven to deep right field at the gap. It's going to be at the wall. No one's going to get to it. A 2-out double there for the Jackals. Was that the pitcher, Weaver? Was that the pitcher right there?
Oh, it was. Wow. The relief pitcher.
Relief pitcher, packing a punch in that shot to right center field. Gets a 2-out double. Cox Enormous up to bat, the leadoff batter. In there for a strike. K-Man activates for Albertina Walker. The 1-2. Swung on, protecting the plate. That one's going to be grounded to James. The throw to first in time for out number 3. So runner on second will be stranded. The Jackals still have a 13-4 lead. Pack a punch back to work on the mound, facing off against the top of this Blues order.
And like we said, obviously Ashnod can score 9 in a single inning, but he can't be banking on that. He needs to start chipping away in each inning, and he's got to start now.
He only has 9 outs with which to work with. That one is weakly hit. Shallow left field, snappy pop, ranges over, makes the catch for out number 1. This brings up Jake Blues. First pitch misses. Oh, catches that inside corner for a strike. A bit of a wild pitch there, but was able to find that location. The 1-1. In there for a strike on the upper part of the zone. K-Man activates for Pack-a-Punch. Both players having their K-Man relievers in the game at this point here in the 7th. Oh, that one right on the corner. Swung on and missed. Nothing Ash could do with that one. Out number 2.
Yeah, 103.
Oh.
Oh my.
And this is what you want to avoid if you're lazy. An RNG disaster.
Yeah.
Elbow pain for Pack-a-Punch. Might have done something to his arm on that strikeout pitch. Throwing 103 miles per hour will do that to you. So his K-Man, just like that, is out of the game. He had that huge hit in the top of the 7th with that double. And now with his arm out, he's out of the game. In comes, I believe that's I-Tigers. That one is driven deep but foul. That's gone if it stays fair. I-Tiger against Elwood Blues. That one drilled towards Zilla at short. Picks it up, throws it to first. That'll end the inning. But the Jackals need to be careful with their bullpen now.
Yeah, the way he's been pitching, he can get around this what could be a catastrophe. It's not a catastrophe just yet, but you hate to see it in a World Series game.
Well, especially when you're facing a batter as accomplished as Ashnod. As that foul ball lands on top of the paddle boat. Or the steamboat. I'm not sure which one that one is. But I don't think I've ever seen a ball land up there before.
I'm not sure I have either. I've seen balls hit directly underneath it, like into it, but not from the top down.
The full count here to Snappy Pop. The payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. The K-Man finding that outside corner for out number 1. Brings up Amy B. Swings at the first pitch. That's going to land fair past the diving glove of the third baseman Walker. Extra bases for the Jackals with 1 out. A runner on second base.
And Lazy still, especially now that he's lost that reliever early, he still has a chance to make this a less than 9-inning game. If he can get this run here and then find 3 outs, it's over.
And who better to do that with than a locked-in Kimto? That one over the plate, ripped up the middle, base hit. Will Lazy challenge the arm of Waters? He will. The runner will score. 14-4, the Jackals lead back into Mercy territory. Still a runner on first, 1 out. This inning continues for the Jackals. Kid K gets into a good count here, 3-0. Albertina Walker, stats starting to diminish. A 4-pitch walk to Kid K. Mojo up for her. First and second, 1 out for Wacky Wanda. This might be the day for Albertina Walker, the reliever. 25 pitches thrown for the K-Man reliever for Ashnod. And she is coming out. Buddy Guy coming in.
Anytime you can get Mojo up on an infielder in a game where every pitch is so important, that's huge.
Good diving effort for James. The out at second. On to first, not in time. So that'll be a fielder's choice. Runners at the corners with 2 outs for Larry Lanky. Lazy certainly would like to tack on here. He will with that rip up the middle. An RBI single. Runners move up 15-4. The Jackals lead.
If I didn't know any better, Fleurbell, I'd say we're probably going to Game 7.
A Game 7 in the World Series. That one is ripped left field over the short wall, and it is gone on the line drive dinger from Lemonzilla.
Yeah, there's that one of those features of Lafayette. Ashnod says this hurts, but this is his home. The deficit is 14, though. I think we're going to 7. I think it's over.
We were calling it quits already, but if there's one thing about Ashnod, we know how many runs he can score in an inning, but it is a monumental task right now for the Blues to get back into this game. If there is a Game 7, it will be tomorrow night. It will be at Sakura Hills. Lazy's going to try to finish things off at home as that one down the middle, swung on and missed. Lazy could not catch up with it, but he leads by 14. Ashnod needs to score 5 runs here in the bottom of the 8th to avoid a Mercy loss. I-Tiger on the mound.
One thing I'm noticing in this game, as opposed to Game 5, and the results are one thing, but a reason for it maybe, Lazy definitely working low in the zone more. Wow.
But Lazy unable to find his location there against the cleanup batter Mavis Staples. So lead off walk. Brings up Elmore James. And yeah, Lazy definitely varying his pitch locations a little bit more than the last few games. I would agree with you on that one. But he sticks with the high and outside heat there and gets a swing and a miss for a strikeout, out number 1. Brings up Paul Butterfield. Gets into a hole here, 0-2. Tiger going with that high and outside curveball. Doesn't get the call. Staying high and away with that changeup. Gets him to chase. Lifted towards Zilla, makes the catch for out number 2. The Jackals 1 out away from going home to Sakura Hills in search of a World Series win. The 1-0 misses low. 2-0 misses inside. The 3-0 here to Mahalia Jackson. Over the plate, swung on and driven foul. The 3-1 off the plate. Mahalia Jackson takes it all the way. So Jackson at first, Staples at second, BB King at the plate. 2 outs. Represents that last out in this game. Lazy trying to retire him. Ashnod trying to stay alive. The 1-1 is belted towards the gap in right field. That's going to get down right off the wall just below the yellow line. 1 run will come in to score for the Blues. Second and third with 2 outs.
Okay. Showing some fight here, showing that maybe he hasn't lost the hitting ability that we've been seeing. Still needs to hit a few more in a row, though.
Is going to be the trial here for Ash. Magic Sam, the pinch hitter, not as much power and contact as the rest of his lineup. Coming in to pinch hit for Buddy Guy. The 2-1. Swung on towards Zilla. Picks it up, throws it to first. Ball game. The Jackals win by mercy here in the 8th inning and have tied it up 3 games apiece in the World Series. We are heading to Game 7.
Yep. The 2 best words in sports. Game 7, and that's where we're headed tomorrow night. It will be a do or die game. Whoever wins it is the season 9 champ. Lazy looking to repeat. Ash looking to slay the dragon. He could have done it tonight, but Lazy, from starting in that 5th inning, I'd say starting maybe a little later than that 5th inning, just found that extra gear that we talked about in pregame. When his back's against the wall, he plays at his best.
It was Ashnod with the momentum yesterday, absolutely dominating. And here today, it was all Lazy. It is very interesting to see how the coin flips between these 2 teams. Although I would have to say Game 5 was a very, very close game. Ashnod in control for a good deal of that game, but as the game went on, Lazy just chipping away at that lead and ended up with that huge win, a huge 9-run comeback. And you mentioned it earlier, Weaver, before the start actually of Game 6, that the momentum was going to be in Lazy's favor. And even though Ashnod did get out to an early 1-0 lead in the first inning for game number 6, you were 100% right. Lazy stayed in complete control.
Yeah, watching Lazy in the second half of game number 5, it just seemed like he wasn't quite missing the pitches that he was missing in the first half of the game. You know, some of the fastballs, middle, some of the change ups in the zone, things like that, curveballs. A lot of the curveballs he was getting, he was lining out or grounding out. He started putting them back out the middle like we're used to seeing from him. It looked like the Lazy of old, even on 93 Ego. He got it done in an instant classic. One of the best games that we've ever called here on this channel since we started doing it last season. But and then he just completely took over in game number 6 from I don't know exactly when he started pouring it on, 3rd or 4th or 5th, but from that point on, just made the game his and did what he needed to do. He's got a home game with number 3 starters. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, Weaver. It's going to be really interesting. Can Lazy win those 3 games in a row? That third and final game, game number 7, to come back down 3-1 is what he was in. That's the situation he was in coming into today. He was down 3-1. Now he has tied it all up. We are heading to the first World Series Game 7 in the Super Mega Baseball 3 era of the XBL. And it is just absolutely insane. I have no idea what to expect tomorrow night other than very, very good baseball.
I'm hoping we see something a bit more like that game 5 where it's super close.
Yeah.
Because none of the other games have been close. They've teetered in both players' directions, but only one has been close. But you're right. No idea. How could we know? Because we've seen Super Lazy and we've seen Super Ash. I guess if we could hope for anything, it's that we see them both at the same time tomorrow.
Yep, at the same time tomorrow. So tomorrow night, will it be at the same time as tonight's broadcast, Weaver?
I'm seeing here that start is TBD at the moment. I would assume a similar time, 5 Pacific, 5:30, probably 6 at the latest. Dwayne, co-commissioner of the league, he's more on the scheduling this season than I would be. So you'd have to. Good time to plug the Discord. Actually, if you're not in our Discord, go ahead and scroll down, click that link. That's where our community is housed. If you want updates about when these sorts of things go live, that would be the place to get them. But it will be tomorrow night, according to the schedule here. Absolutely cannot wait to call it.
Yeah, the best ways to keep up to date on when we go live for these things, absolutely, as Weaver said, are the XBL Discord. Also, if you enjoyed tonight's action and commentary, be sure to leave us a follow here. Really helps the channel, and you will be notified when we go live for Game 7 tomorrow night. You don't want to miss it. We will be crowning one of these two teams as the XBL World Series champion in Game number 7. I can't believe it, Weaver.
I can't either. The way this series went last year, there was no prayer of it going past the 4 games.
Not at all.
Lazy destroyed Ashnod, and then this series, it looked like it was going to be the other way. It looked like Ashnod was going to have his way with Lazy in 5. Instead, we're going to 7, and like you said, it's the first time we've been able to cast one in the 90 Ego, or in this case 93, in the XBL portion of the broadcasting. We had one in the AAA last week, and that was exciting. But this is peak SMB action. If you like PvP Super Mega Baseball, you cannot miss this tomorrow night.
Tell your friends, tell everybody to get in here and watch what's going to be absolutely incredible baseball action. We thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Again, make sure you join the Discord. Thank you, everybody from the league office, for making this possible. Weaver, any final parting words tonight?
Thank you for jumping in the booth tonight. It's good to get another casting with you, Fleurbell. Thank you, everyone who was here. Great viewership tonight. Thank you all for hanging out, being hype in the chat, and excited about these games. It really makes it worth it to us. And thanks to Lazy for streaming. There's no in-game spectator mode, so without streamer volunteers for this sort of thing, we can't do this. And then, of course, thank you to Ash for showing up and playing great games. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Can't wait.
Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy out there, and we will see you all tomorrow night for Game 7. From all of us here at the XBL, I'm Fleurbell. This has been Weaver for Prez, and we will see you all tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.